This is our presentation on Ifrit, the Djinn of Fire. My name is Allison McLaughlin.
I'm Finn Hood.
I'm Lila Maxwell.
I'm Samantha Rodriguez.
And I'm Tristan Wood.
In the Islamic religion, Ifrits are supernatural beings that are created from a smokeless fire. They are considered to be the most powerful class of Jinn, which is a race of supernatural beings created by God from fire with societal structures that are somewhat similar to humans. Ifrits are incredibly enormous and winged creatures that are often surrounded by swirling smoke, and they are known to be less powerful than angels, but much more powerful than humans. They can be males or females, and they are generally seen as ruthless, but they are not fundamentally evil. However, they are known to cause a lot of pain and suffering to humans. They are so powerful that ordinary weapons won't affect or kill them, but they can be captured, killed, or enslaved by using magic that humans are able to possess. Ifrits live in a class-based kingdom with kings, different tribes and clans, and they usually live underground or in ruins. They usually marry each other, however, they can marry humans, and because they live underground, they are rarely sighted by humans. And while the jinn is often stated in the Quran, Ifrits are only mentioned once. And they're mentioned when Ifrit offers to carry the throne of a prophet of God, but the prophet declines because he'd rather someone with more knowledge of scriptures to take him. And different Islamic cultures have different interpretations of Ifrits, two of which are Egypt and Morocco, but that will be discussed in depth later. And next slide. Here are just two pictures that represent Ifrits. You can see they're big, they have wings, and they can blow smoke and horns. And yeah, those are just some depictions of how people see them.
So what culture do these come from? Ifrit are part of many central teachings in the Quran and are tied to Islamic belief. The Islamic religion started around 610 BCE in what is now modern day Saudi Arabia, but has since spread all around the globe, taking stories of Ifrit with it. Because of this broad range, there are many different interpretations and traditions surrounding Ifrit. This is just a map of the spread of the Islamic religion. Next slide, please. In Egypt, Ifrit are believed to be able to possess limbs or whole people. In the case of a limb possession, they can cause death and disease. And they are thought when they fully possess a human, they can give them supernatural strength and before ultimately overwhelming that person and driving them insane. It is believed that dangerous Ifrit arise from people who are murdered, and that Ifrit can only be stopped by driving a nail into the blood of the murder victim. Here's a map of Egypt, as well as a artifact recovered from Egypt depicting an Ifrit. Next slide, please. In Moroccan culture, Ifrit are thought to be much more powerful than other demons, such as Djinn. They're thought to possess the whole body, and when that possession happens, the body is thought to be deformed, so having multiple heads, having claw-like hands, stuff like that. And it's thought that it's believed that you're able to harness the power of an Ifrit by using a magic ring. Here are just some maps of Morocco. Next slide, please. And then these are different depictions, just showing the broad range of the belief in Ifrit and the many different interpretations. On the left, there's a painting, I believe, that was created in around 1560 in India. In the middle, there's a painting that was created around 1648 in Uzbekistan. And on the right, there's another painting that was created around the 14th century in Iraq. So that just shows how vast and broad the range of belief in this is.
All right, so what does the Jinn myth tell us about Islamic culture? Well, the myth has been successfully integrated into Islam throughout its history to the point where, for ancient Muslims, accepting the jinn as an extension of faith was considered common practice. However, you can never take it as far as to meddle with or try and cross over to their realm. That would be considered sacrilege. There are also several tales of figures from the Quran experiencing jinns being troublesome. One story not in the Quran includes Muhammad on his way to the mosque in Jerusalem. Before he could reach the holy site in Jerusalem, an Ifrit threatens Muhammad with smoke and fire, but the archangel Gabriel teaches Muhammad a prayer to banish the spirits. Another such story in the Quran includes King Solomon choosing trying to find someone to carry his throne to a palace, but an Ifrit tries to meddle in that plan, but Solomon sees through it and chooses somebody else instead. Next. So in Islamic lore, many people have tried to control the Ifrit with talisman and blood sacrifices, which led to many minor conflicts and stories throughout Islamic legend. The summoning practices also happen to correlate with the switch to esoteric thinking in Islamic cultures. The natural adoption of the myths went like this: spirits to jinn, celestial souls to angels, and practicing magic to using jinn for my bidding. And in ancient Islamic society, those who could see the unseen were considered to be prophets chosen by God.
So, what is the modern interpretation of Ifrit and how does it affect our traditions today? So, as mentioned before, Ifrit is basically just a powerful type of Islamic demon, and it has developed into independent entities and spirits of the dead. Ifrit can also be spelled in a variety of ways, such as Ifrit or Afrit. And Ifrit is just a mythological demon that is associated with the underworld and identified with a lot of spirits of the dead. Ifrit can be associated with a powerful elemental being and represented by the raw forces of fire that cause destruction. And Ifrit can lead to the intensity of fire and be the main character in an urban story setting. So, according to the Quran, they say that the universe is divided into two separate worlds, one being the visible and one being the unseeable. So, in this case, the mythological myth of Ifrit can be impacted by a variety of countries and locations. And basically, each country and location just has like their own interpretation of what Ifrit is and the myth behind it. And I feel like we can relate to this in a specific way because growing up, we have been familiar with a variety of myths, such as the Candyman or even Bloody Mary. And so we take these mythological myths and we kind of interpret them in a different way from our own standpoint, whether it'll be correct or not. So basically, Ifrit is known to be the raw forces of fire that cause destruction. And in Morocco, it is known to be the spirits of murdered innocent people. And also in Egypt, Ifrits are just known to take over a body of a host and cause sickness and disease upon others. So, what does this tell us about the impacts of our traditions today? Basically, it's just influencing our different cultures and carrying on the legends of what we believe to be, of what is to be believed. And storytelling is just surrounded by a variety of cultural practices and beliefs of certain entities.
So the lessons that we can learn from these stories is that we need to respect nature. Because Ifrits are associated with smoke and fire, they are destructive, infernal, and ominous. They teach us to respect their malevolence or be consumed by its chaos. We need to be aware of the power and arrogance. Ifrits are portrayed as powerful and malevolent beings. The lesson here is that power should be wielded responsibly, and arrogance can lead to downfall. The consequences of our actions also take effect. That's also something we need to take from this. Many Ifrits make deals with demons, and these interactions cause unintended consequences. The lesson is that our acts have repercussions, and we should consider potential outcomes before making those decisions. In the supernatural world, Ifrits live in realms beyond our own, and these stories remind us that they're forces beyond our understanding, and they need to be approached with respect and caution. The power and the power of these stories, the folklore and the myth that they play, is a significant role in shaping our cultural beliefs. These stories contribute to our understanding of morality, ethics, and the unseen world. The lessons are that these stories impact our daily lives, and we need to be aware of them. And this is our works cited page.